would you feel when you're all packed up, envisaging a beautiful journey you were about to embark on, only for you to be told you're not eligible to fly? That was my experience. Hi, my name is Deb, and you're welcome to Discover with Deb. It was a very lovely day. I was going to be flying alongside my beautiful princess from Texas, the United States of America, to the United Kingdom. So our flight was scheduled for about 6 a.m. in the morning. That means that we had to arrive at the airport, say 3 to 4 hours before the flight, in order to get all the processes done, completed on time. You know what it means to when you want to fly, especially international flights. So if I had to fly at 6 a.m., that means we had to leave around, say, 2 a.m. in the midnight, or latest 3 a.m. early in the morning or in the middle of the night. That also meant that I wasn't able to sleep. Oh my God, I wasn't able to sleep because the butterflies in my stomach, the excitement about traveling. When you're eager, you want to travel, like you've envisaged, you've dreamt, you've planned, you've prepared about that beautiful, amazing trip, and the day is there, the D-Day is there. The excitement that comes in. In fact, sometimes you don't even feel hungry, you don't feel like sleeping. That was the same thing for me. Aside being so excited, I also had to pack. I also had to get things organized for our journey, and that also meant my daughter didn't have to sleep too, because once mommy is awake doing a lot of things, she too would be awake, more so like that. So I packed up, got everything, and the car was outside waiting to take us. So we got on that car, and then we got to the airport, got through all the security checks and everything, and we flew successfully from Houston, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia, to board on our connecting flights. On getting to Atlanta, Georgia, the hour between the two flights was 6 hours, so we had to wait for 6 hours to get on the next flight that was going to take us from Atlanta, Georgia to the United Kingdom. After waiting for 6 hours, it was now time for us to board on the plane. I got so excited. I went to the airline staff, and then I presented my passport and everything. They looked at my visa, and that my visa is expired. Where is my residence permit? Where is my right to be in the UK? I said, oh yeah, I have it. I brought out my phone, and I opened my phone now because I've taken a scan of my ID card, my BRP, and I showed it to them. They said no, they want the card, the real card. I said I don't have the card. I have a copy of it on my phone. And they were like, oh, I need to check with the boss. And the lady went on, checked, and then came back to me and said, we are so sorry, if you don't have the card, you're not flying. I said, what do you mean if I don't have the card, I'm not flying? I have the card. You can see a copy of it on my phone, and I have my visa. And I have my visa, so why can't I fly? So she said, okay, that we are going to call the passport control in the UK and get back to you. So they left and came back later, and then informed me that unfortunately we called the passport control and they won't let you into the UK. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, what? What do you mean? I say no, it's not possible. I used to live in Dubai, and in Dubai we had this Emirates ID card. This Emirates ID was more or less your visa in the UAE. So you needed your Emirates ID card to open a bank account, to whatever you want to do in the UAE. You needed your Emirates ID card. That was a proof of your residency. But we didn't need the Emirates ID to travel. We didn't need it to return back into the country. So when I came to the UK and I got the BRP, so I thought that was just a card, like a residence permit, like my Emirates ID. I've traveled many times from the UAE, out of the UAE, and I didn't need to present my Emirates ID to get into the country. So I thought that was same for the UK. And I traveled, I kept my BRP at home, and I went on this journey. And when I was told I won't be able to fly, oh my God, I cried and I cried. No, at the initial stage, I actually thought that it was, they were joking, like they weren't serious, or maybe they didn't know the rule. I was like, how on earth? Why can't I fly? But I was polite, forget about what I'm saying. I wasn't rude, I was very polite. I was just calm. I was like, it's not possible. I should be able to fly. And then this lady started discussing about taking my bag, my luggages off the checked-in baggage, and oh my God, and they took me to the other side of the customer service. That was when I knew that they were very serious. And the lady said to me, we are going to put you on the next flight going back to Texas, and you have to rebook your tickets to come back to Texas, and we can fly you from Atlanta back to the UK. I said, what? Rebook flight to take me back to Texas to Houston? Why? Oh my God. And they asked me to choose a new date for my next flight from the UK, from Atlanta, Georgia back to the UK. And then I knew again that these people were serious. Oh my God, I broke down in tears. I broke down in tears because I had this lovely, beautiful, innocent baby girl with me. I wasn't alone. If I were alone, that would have been a different, I would have felt bad. But I was demoralized. I don't know what the best word to use. I was really demoralized. I didn't know what to do because I had this baby and myself. How do I cope with a baby and myself? Just the two of us. I broke down in tears. I cried my lungs out and I was like, what am I going to do? But for the baby, what did she care? She was busy playing around, crawling everywhere, making fun and enjoying her life. She didn't know what mommy was going through. Mommy was crying. So I rang my friend and I called my friend and I said, that was my friend Maureen, and I told her what was happening. I was like, did you ever, because I know she had traveled out of the United Kingdom, and I asked her, did you need to travel with your BRP before to be able to gain access back into the UK? And then my friend said, oh no, and still apologizing to me. She was like, Debbie, I'm so sorry, guess what? She also had the same experience I was experiencing. She also went through the same thing. She traveled out of the she traveled out of the United Kingdom, and she traveled without her BRP, and she got stuck. She couldn't come back, and she knew I was preparing to travel. Oh Maury, why did you do this to me? So she knew I was going to travel. She knew when I booked my flight and everything. She was like, she was going to tell me, but that it kept skipping her mind until after I traveled. She was like, okay, maybe I had gone with it. She didn't remember to tell me. She's innocent, don't blame her. She didn't remember to tell me, and I was like, oh my God, you should have told me. I didn't know. She said, oh, I'm so sorry, Debbie, I had the same experience. Okay, so that is medicine after death, they say. About Delta Airline staff, how did they handle the situation? Of course, there were some of their staff that were really mean. They didn't speak rightly to me. They didn't encourage me. Someone going through that situation, they didn't speak nicely to me. But just one lady stood out. You know what she did? She spoke nicely to me. She tried to comfort me and because I was so devastated. I was like, okay, what do I do now with this child with me? Where do I go from here? Oh my God, it was a nightmare, I would tell you. So moving on, I was asked to choose a new date for my flight. So I had to choose a new date. And one good thing Delta Airlines did was that they rebooked me for a next flight back to the UK without charging me a penny. I know there was a time I missed my flight from Nigeria to the United Arab Emirates, and the airline charged me almost the same amount of money I paid to book my flight, the first flight, to reschedule my flight to a new date. And that really broke me. But Delta Airlines stood out in this aspect. They rebooked my flight without charging me a penny. And this lady I'm talking about, oh my God, I wish I knew her name. She was really an angel. So after my flight was rescheduled for a new day, my husband had to send me my BRP from the UK down to the United States of America. Now we had to get an address. Where would it be sent to? So they were like, are you going to go back to Texas or you will stay in Atlanta? So I said, going back to Texas is a far way to go, so I had to stay back in Atlanta. So I decided to stay back in Atlanta. I immediately went online and I booked an Airbnb in Atlanta there that we were going to stay for the number of days we had to stay in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I immediately sent the address of the Airbnb I had booked to my husband to mail my BRP from the UK down to me in the US. So after I had done that, I had to go back to the airline staff, and this lady, Delta Airlines staff, she was really amazing. I wish I knew her name. So what Delta Airlines did was to offer me a complimentary hotel reservation for that night. They offered it to my daughter and myself, and they offered us 3 meal vouchers to cover for the night, the morning, and anytime we want to use the voucher. So we had a complimentary premium stay at the Atlanta Airport Marriott Gateway in Atlanta, Georgia, and 3 meal voucher from Delta Airlines. So I moved down there with my daughter. We stayed the night. Oh my god, we were so exhausted. We slept like a log of wood because it was a long way from not sleeping up through the night to waiting 6 hours to getting delayed to crying to getting to reschedule. My head was running so fast, my brain was running. I had to think, come up with solutions, deciding to get an Airbnb, getting an Air, sorting it out with a child, a little child. Oh my god, I would say that was the worst day of my life. That was the worst day of my life. But thank God for Delta Airlines, it turned out to be an amazing day in the end. So we went on to the hotel, and my daughter and I, we rested us through the night, and by the next day we had the meal, and by the next day we are off to the Airbnb we had booked. And 2 days later we got our BRP in Atlanta, and after that, the day our flight was scheduled for, we returned back to the airport and we were able to fly. And guess what? When we got to the UK, I presented my passports. What the passport control asked for was the BRP. And I laughed inside of me. I laughed inside of me. So I gave my BRP, and that was when I realized that my BRP is my proof of residence in the UK. So if you're in the UK, do not travel without your BRP. If you live in the UK, please do not travel without your BRP. And I heard that in the UAE at the moment, the Emirates ID has also replaced the visa stamp on the passports. So wherever you are in any part of the world, if you're traveling, please do not travel without anything that signifies your residency in the country, whether you regard it to be valuable or not. Even if you have to travel with your application form, please do, just so you don't experience this thing I had to experience. It was really horrible. It's something I wouldn't want anyone to experience. So dear, if you know you've had this experience before, please put it in the comment section below. It may not be the same experience, but something similar. Please put it in the comment section so everyone can learn from it. If you also know someone who has been through the same experience, please share your experience or the person's experience with their permission in the comment section below so everyone else can learn. And I still remain your girl Deb, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and do not forget to click on the bell notification so you will be notified each time I upload a new video. So thank you there, and do enjoy the rest of your day, and until I see you next time, take good care of yourself and bye.